Chinese by blood, Filipino by heart. Hashtag Dugong Chino, Pusong Pinoy is brought to you by Federation of Filipino-Chinese Chambers of Commerce and Industry. Owishi Oh Wow. Dash Cargo, propelling possibilities. BA Securities, your trading partner in Asia Pacific. AgriPro Premier Nutrition Inc. Peak Sports Philippines. Nation Paper Products and Printing Corporation. Chua Bangtang. Jimmy C. Aningo.
Religion has the ability to be translated or enculturated in different languages and cultures.
As Chinois, we belong to a predominantly Catholic country, and Chinois are part of that.
The story of San Lorenzo Ruiz shows us na kaya ng Pilipino, kaya ng Chinoi maging banal, kaya ng Pilipino, kaya ng Chinoi maging dakila, pumili ng tama, magdesisyon ng maayos, manindigan at maging matatag sa kabila ng lahat. Yan ang tunay na Chinoi, yan ang tunay na Pilipino. My name is Monsignor Esteban Lo Tiak Juan. I am at present the rector and parish priest of the Minor Basilica and National Shrine of San Lorenzo Ruiz and the parish of Our Lady of the Most Holy Rosary. Magellan came to the Philippines on March 16, 1521. But it took several years later, under Legazpi, that Christianity started to spread around the Philippines.
I'm Father Ari D. S.J. Chenmeng Li Shenfu. I'm president of Ateneo de Naga University. From the very beginning, when the first Bishop of Manila arrived, Bishop Domingo Salazar, he arrived in 1581 and already he was interested in evangelizing the Chinese.
When the Spaniards came, they discovered that the Chinese have been in the Philippines doing trade with the Filipinos much earlier.
The first Filipino saint is a CHiNOY, a Chinese Filipino.
Maybe some people are not aware that San Lorenzo Ruiz was half Filipino, half Chinese. His mother was a Tagala, his father was a Chinese immigrant. He was a member of the Confradia del Nuestra Señora del Santísimo Rosario. And of course, later on, he became the escribano or the parish secretary in this parish of Binondo. But you see, San Lorenzo Ruiz, just like many of us, had found himself in a very great personal crisis. He was falsely accused in connection with a murder of a Spaniard.
He decided to join the Dominican missionaries who were going to Japan. Little did he know that it was a time of persecution for Catholicism in Japan. And when the Dominican missionaries were martyred, he became part of that. He was also martyred in Japan. And therefore, if you go to places like Nagasaki, you find statues of Saint Lorenzo Ruiz and his companions, and they were all martyred together there in the 1630s.
Many believe that San Lorenzo Ruiz was innocent. They knew that only persons of unquestionable character who could be allowed to join this mission in Japan. Otherwise, the mission itself would be compromised from the very outset. San Lorenzo Ruiz is indeed a great blessing, inspiration, and challenge for us Filipinos in general and Filipino-Chinese in particular.
Chinese by blood, Filipino by heart. Hashtag Dugong Chino Pusong Pinoy is brought to you by Federation of Filipino-Chinese Chambers of Commerce and Industry, Dash Cargo, Propelling Possibilities, AgriPro Premier Nutrition Inc., Nation Paper Products and Printing Corporation, BA Securities, your trading partner in Asia Pacific, Peak Sports Philippines, Chua Bang Tang, Jimmy C, Aningo, Cosmopolitan Memorial Chapels and Crematory, Ersao, Dermise Incorporated, Philflex Wires and Cables, Japan Parts Trading Center, Evergreen Cereals, Tanyan Key Foundation, East Ocean Palace Restaurant, Tiger Lim Events, GB Shoes, Versailles Palace Alabang Events Place, Mass by Green EPH, Water Care, Ford Tractor Philippines, your long-term agriculture partner, HOA Trading Corp, Zespri, High Top Supermarket, Royal Shark's Fin Seafood Restaurant, Golden Fortune Seafood Restaurant, CW Home Depot, Poland Hopia, OSK Tools USA, Chinese-Filipino Business Club Inc., Federation of Filipino-Chinese Association of the Philippines Foundation Inc., Philippine Jinjiang General Association, Jersey Haven, Ana Maria Lam, Enrique Chua, Ang Kian Hyong, William Goshaco, Mary Nang, Uy Shokpo, G2 Global, Verleo Catering, Wonderful Trading, MGM Industry Inc., Grand Family Association of the Philippines Inc., Sharon Tan, Thomas Kua, Esther and Danny Lee, Nung Family, Lee Pue Chin and Jensen Chua.
From the simple idea of bringing Taiwanese street food to the Filipino table to being a world-loved brand known for its bold flavors, comforting meals, and unforgettable milk tea, today we bring you inside the hub of authentic Taiwanese food, Ersao. Let's go! This business came from one woman's vision but is now carried forward by the next generation. My name is Mary Grace Koo Wang Lisin from CHiNOY TV, and today joining us is the Franchise Relations Manager of Ersao, Ms. Charlene Xie Hui-san. Hi, Ms. Charlene.
Hi.
Please do share what you have prepared for us today.
So this is our beef noodles. This is pork sausage, spicy squid, and kong roll fan, and kiempula, and also our shui jiao.
What's the meaning behind the brand or the name Ersao?
Ersao, it means second sister-in-law.
Growing up, you have seen your mom building the brand. Please let us know how it actually started.
My mom observed the food here is dominated by Western food. Why not introduce Taiwanese flavor? People loved it.
I saw a very significant change in Ersao's logo, so please do share us more about this.
My personal background is I studied art, and I just think that Ersao needs to go more lively and build more connections with our customers.
Now we stepped away from the restaurant and headed straight to where the source being produced. Joining me today is the operations manager of YYY Enterprises, Miss Christine Xie. Xie, Hi, Christine.
Hi!
So give us a quick preview first. How is it the brand evolve throughout the years?
So nag-start talaga from this kiosk. This is built by my father. And then my mom, she bought 5 kilo of chicken that day to produce it into spicy chicken, which is well known by Ersao. The YYY Enterprises naman is because pumatok yung brand na Ersao. So dinevelop lang namin afterwards.
Give us a walkthrough of the processes that you have here in the commissary.
We have the noodles, pati yung dumpling wrapper, and we also have the meat slicing area. Sa cooking side naman, we cook the meat. We also cook there yung mga sauces. At packaging area, places na pinapack namin depending on the customer.
I guess with the years that you have in the business, what were the milestones?
We're very blessed talaga na nakapag-open kami ng several branches across the Philippines. And then recent years, nakapag-achieve kami ng certificates, good manufacturing practice, halal, and HACCP.
We have more than 10 departments with 100 plus employees na nakapag-provide din kami ng housing for them.
Nakapag-export na din kami ng tapioca pearl namin to Dubai and Vietnam.
Wow, super interesting. Thank you so much, Christine. Really shows that Ersao have smart systems and of course good leadership to come up with quality products like this. What came from a single vision now turned into a family-run legacy. If you're looking to grow with a brand built on consistency and scale, this is a sign for you to partner with Ersao.
Sa totoo lang, chilito kasi talaga type ko.
Oishi potato fries. It's cheesy to love.
Chinese by blood, Filipino by heart. Hashtag Dagong Chino Pusong Pinoy.
I'm Dr. Juliet Lee Uitanlet, Shi Liu Lee. I am currently the Intercultural and Urban Studies Department Chair and the Research Center Director of Asian Theological Seminary. Religion is a set of beliefs and practices that help people make sense of their reality. It is also an avenue for people to find solution to their everyday problems. Religion play a very important role in the everyday life of the Chinese in the Philippines. And whether this is a belief that they adhere to or a practice that they continue to do in their everyday life.
The first books printed in the Philippines had to do with the Catholicism, like the Doctrina Christiana. And then the missionaries also developed dictionaries translating Spanish into Chinese and Romanizing it in the Hokkien or Lanangwe dialects or phonetic systems. The history of the relationship between Chinese culture and Christianity is very long. When Catholicism was first successfully introduced in China, that was one of the biggest questions. Chinese civilization was much older than Christianity. So how would the missionaries approach Chinese culture? So that was the burning question of the day. It took centuries to resolve. And today there is an effort to incorporate Chinese culture or to blend it with the practice of the Catholic faith. So here in the Philippines, whenever we celebrate Chinese New Year, we do it with a lot of Chinese cultural symbols and music and veneration of the ancestors, all of which are part of Chinese culture. It's a very rich and very vibrant celebration, a testament to the blending of Catholic faith and Chinese culture.
During the 17th century, many Chinese intermarried with the local women and eventually led to many Chinese mestizos. When the Spaniards came to the Philippines, of course, they brought with them Christianity or Roman Catholicism. And so when the Spaniards saw that there are quite a few number of Chinese in the Philippines, they see this as a good opportunity for trade. At the same time, hoping that they will be able to Christianize the Chinese and send them to China as missionaries.
Binondo was an islet across Intramuros. And Binondo, or later on known as Binondo, was set aside by the Spanish colonial government in Manila. The Dominicans came to serve the Chinese and the Filipino-Chinese in Binondo in 1590s or 1580s in fact. And the first church was built on this spot in 1597. Well, it was a small church made of light materials. So later on, they built the second church, much larger and much sturdier. And so Binondo has become the center of the Chinese life in the Philippines, the Chinese Filipinos, both in terms of trade, culture, and religion. The second Binondo church structure was destroyed by an earthquake that occurred in, I think, in 1645. So they have to build the third church, which, however, was destroyed by the British invasion in 1762, 1763. So they had to build the fourth church structure for that matter. But this fourth church again suffered heavy damages in the subsequent earthquake. And the final church that was here during the time of the Spaniards was destroyed towards the end of the Second World War. So the present church in this same spot is practically the sixth physical structure. What is beautiful about this is that it's not only the church structure that kept on rising from the rubbles and the ashes, but the community, the Chinese-Filipino community, kept on rising from each fall, kept on starting anew.
Chinese by blood, Filipino by heart. Hashtag Dugong Chino Pusong Pinoy is brought to you by Federation of Filipino-Chinese Chambers of Commerce and Industry, Dash Cargo, Propelling Possibilities, AgriPro Premier Nutrition Inc., Nation Paper Products and Printing Corporation, BA Securities, your trading partner in Asia Pacific, Peak Sports Philippines, Chua Bang Tang, Jimmy C, Aningo, Cosmopolitan Memorial Chapels and Crematory, Ersao, Dermisay Incorporated, Philflex Wires and Cables, Japan Parts Trading Center, Evergreen Cereals, Tanyan Key Foundation, East Ocean Palace Restaurant, Tiger Lim Events, GB Shoes, Versailles Palace Alabang Events Place, Mass by Green EPH, Water Care, Ford Tractor Philippines, your long-term agriculture partner, Hoa Trading Corp, Zespri, High Top Supermarket, Royal Shark's Fin Seafood Restaurant, Golden Fortune Seafood Restaurant, CW Home Depot, Poland Hopia, OSK Tools USA, Chinese Filipino Business Club Inc., Federation of Filipino-Chinese Association of the Philippines Foundation Inc., Philippine Jinjiang General Association, Jersey Haven, Ana Maria Lam, Enrique Chua, Ang Kian Hyong, William Goshako, Mary Nang, Uy Shok Po, Petromax Enterprise, Yalex Shirt, Vecco Paper, Filipino-Chinese Trencho Association Inc., Federation of Filipino-Chinese Alumni Association Inc., Albert Ko, Leonard D., Lim Gyokyan, Teresita and Edison Tung.
Yes, honey, you're a queen. Nang rumampa ka sa stage, 1, 2, 3 steps forward, hindi ko na magawang kumalas.
Chinese by blood, Filipino by heart. Hashtag Dugong Chino Pusong Pinoy.
I am sure you're aware that after the passing on of Pope Francis, the name of Cardinal Chito Tagle was mentioned.
Cardinal Luis Antonio Tagle is half Chinese. His mother's surname is Go Kim. So he belongs to that large mestizo Chinese class where many vocations to the Catholic Church have been nurtured. So I think Cardinal Tagle, if you notice, is quite devoted to his family. Even if he has been based abroad for so many years, he really makes it a point to spend time with his family. And he also lives a very simple, frugal life. I think that's part of the Chinese heritage. Of course, that's not exclusive to the Chinese, but it's quite evident in the way Cardinal Tagle lives his life.
Indeed, you can see in him important qualities that Chinese parents or Filipino-Chinese parents instill in their children. First, to study conscientiously. But there's another characteristic that balances everything, and that is the ihiao zui lang, ingkay tinggaw toy lang xin. And that is marunong makipagkapwa-tao, marunong magpakatao.
When the Chinese came to the Philippines, they also bring with them their set of beliefs and practices, and that includes probably Buddhism and Taoism. However, upon coming to the Philippines, they are also introduced to Christianity, and so it is very likely that they will add on this Christianity to their already existing set of beliefs and practices. One of the ways that the Chinese Filipinos are very unique in their practice of religion is the use of Lanang Oi or Hokkien language.
If you go to a Filipino Mass, you'll be very familiar with it, and you will see the difference between a Filipino Mass or Mass in English with a Chinese-Filipino or CHiNOY Mass, especially during special occasions. In CHiNOY Masses, or sometimes we call it a Chop Suey Mass, the Mass could be basically in English, but maybe the readings will be done in Mandarin, the songs can be done in Mandarin or Hokkien. In fact, there's even a whole set of Filipino liturgical hymns that have been translated into Mandarin. I was part of that project many years ago, and it's quite heartwarming to see that they are still sung in many Chinese Catholic communities today. The Filipino liturgical hymns translated into Mandarin were a breakthrough because they really blended two languages and two cultures. The melodies are very Filipino, like think of Purihin ang Panginoon, Pag-aalay, Papuri. We're so familiar with them, hearing them sung in Filipino. But then they have been translated and then recorded into Mandarin. So it gives you a different feeling, a different sense that here you have the coming together of Filipino and Chinese religious culture through the music. And this project was even promoted, disseminated in mainland China. And just recently, I went to a Chinese Mass in Xiamen, in China, and I was so surprised to see that the Gloria, the Papuri that they were singing, was in Mandarin using a Filipino melody, Filipino music. So it has taken on a life of its own. I think language is so important because it's the soul of a culture. It is how we encounter the world. And therefore, even if many of us learned our catechism, we learned about the Catholic faith in English or any of the local languages, when we see certain ideas or certain terminologies expressed in Chinese, it opens up new worlds. It opens up a depth of meaning that might not be there if you're simply doing it in English.
I think the desire of the Chinese Filipinos to maintain their cultural heritage led to their desire to also create or organize their own parishes, and at the same time also their own Chinese Catholic schools. They also have their own Chinese Catholic associations, which will help them to grow together in their faith and in their practices. The prayer altar behind the Shoppers Mart along Ongping Street is a very visible and distinct marker of the Chinese blending of religions, or how they incorporate the Chinese religion in Roman Catholicism. Because in the prayer altar, they will allow praying with incense and also praying by lighting of candles. The CHiNOYs embracing Roman Catholicism enabled them to assimilate and also engage with the greater Filipino community. And this is very important and very crucial, since the Philippines is a Roman Catholic country and a Christian nation. And so it will enable the Chinese Filipino Catholics to identify with the greater population.
I would encourage Chinese Filipinos to appreciate their unique Chinese Filipino culture and to integrate that with their practice of the Christian faith, for the majority who are Christians. I think we're living in a time when there's a threat of becoming more and more global or Western, but that often means being detached from your original culture and language. So I would encourage Chinese Filipinos to get to know more about the culture in which you grew up and find the meeting points, the links between that culture and your practice of religion, especially Christianity.
Chinese by blood, Filipino by heart, hashtag Dugong Chino Pusong Pinoy was brought to you by Federation of Filipino-Chinese Chambers of Commerce and Industry, Owishi Oh Wow, Dash Cargo, propelling possibilities, VA Securities, your trading partner in Asia Pacific, AgriPro Premier Nutrition Inc., Peak Sports Philippines, Nation Paper Products and Printing Corporation, Chua Bang Tang, Jimmy C, Aningo,